The Brooklyn Nets have pulled the biggest turnaround in the NBA this season. Coming into the year, they were expected to be one of the top title contenders, but they got off to a miserable 2-5 start, which led to them firing head coach Steve Nash. The Nets' on-court issues were bad enough, but then they also had off-court drama, which led to them having to suspend Kyrie Irving for 8 games. The Nets replaced Steve Nash with head coach Jacque Vaugn, and ever since Kyrie Irving has returned to the lineup, the Nets have been unstoppable. In fact, the Nets have won their last 10 games, which not only gives them the largest win streak in the NBA, but has moved the Nets up to the 2 seed, and they're only 2 games away from the 1st seeded Boston Celtics. The way the Nets are playing right now, they look like legit title contenders, and the other top teams in the East, like the Celtics and like the Milwaukee Bucks, should start to feel nervous. So how have the Nets so quickly turned tragedy into triumph? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about KD. Durant is having one of his best seasons, averaging 30.6 boards and 5 assists per game on a career-high 56% field goal percentage. Since KD came back from the Achilles tear, he's changed his play style by taking less shots in the paint and more shots from mid-range, and he's become one of the greatest mid-range scorers this league has ever seen. Teams have been moving away from mid-range shots and more towards three-pointers and shots in the paint for years now, but KD shoots the mid-range shot at such a high percentage that he defies modern analytics. On the season, KD is shooting a mind-boggling 58% from the mid-range. At 7 feet tall with a high release point, not a single defender on planet Earth can bother his shot. Most of KD's mid-range attempts are contested, but KD's release point is way too high for a defender to bother him. And if a bigger defender is put on him, KD can still cross them up and get all the way to the rim. He's an offensive juggernaut, but what he does on the defensive end shouldn't go overlooked. Durant has the lateral quickness to stay in front of shorter, quicker players, and he's also a great team defender, whether it's getting steals and deflections or rotating over to block shots. He's having a great season in the way he's playing. KD will have a serious shot at winning his 2nd MVP award. KD has been amazing, but Kyrie is also a huge part of this turnaround. The Nets are 16-3 since Kyrie has returned from his suspension. Like KD, Kyrie is an absolute offensive juggernaut, averaging 26 points and 5 assists a game on 48% shooting from the field and 35% from 3. Like Durant, Kyrie takes a lot of pull-up mid-range shots and shoots them at a ridiculously high percentage. On the season, Kyrie is shooting a blistering 57% from the mid-range this year. With those crossovers, in and outs, and step backs, he's got all the moves to create space to get his shot off against virtually any defender. But he's a legit 3-level scorer, whether it's smooth finishing at the rim or his pull-up shooting from the outside. Together, Kyrie and KD are arguably the best duo in the NBA. But it's been the help from the role players on this team that's helped the Nets turn this season around. TJ Warren has provided a spark off the Nets bench. The last time TJ Warren had a healthy season, he went absolutely berserk down in Florida, where he averaged 26 points per game through 10 games in the 2020 Orlando bubble. But that wasn't a mirage, because Warren has been a good scorer his entire career. He's proven to be a savvy pickup for the Nets, and his best game of the year was against the Cavs, where he took over, dropping 23 points on 64% shooting. TJ Warren's hot shooting and scoring off the bench really helps to take pressure off the Nets' dynamic duo. Another big contributor has been Yoda Watanabe. Most fans probably didn't even know who he was prior to the start of this season. Watanabe came into training camp not even knowing if he'd have a roster spot, but now he's leading the entire NBA in three-point percentage, knocking down 52% of his threes. Watanabe's hot shooting makes the game so much easier for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving because he gives them more room to operate. Because he's a great shooter, teams don't want to leave him open, which gives KD and Kyrie space to attack, but teams that decide to leave him wide open to send help defense tend to get burned from his hot shooting. Watanabe has been a key contributor to the Nets turning their season around. Overall, the Nets' offense has been a huge part of their turnaround, but we also can't forget just how good they've been on defense. Last season, the Nets' defense was an absolute disaster, ranking just 20th in defensive rating, but the Nets' defense has made a huge leap, ranking 12th in defensive rating this year. Nicholas Claxton is a huge reason for that big turnaround. The Nets didn't want to give up Jared Allen for James Harden back in January of 2021, but a huge reason they were willing to let their starting center go was because they knew Nicholas Claxton had a lot of potential, and this season we're seeing it. Claxton is the Nets' defensive anchor, where he has the lateral quickness to legit guard 1 through 5, but also has the length and defensive instincts to protect the rim. On the season, Claxton has the second most blocks in the NBA behind Brook Lopez, and also ranks second in the NBA in blocks per game. Ben Simmons is also a huge part of the Nets' defense. Earlier in the year, Simmons started off the year slow and was frequently in foul trouble, but recently he's reminding the world why he finished second in Defensive Player of the Year voting back in 2021. Simmons is arguably the best on-ball defender in the NBA. There's very few 6'10" guys that can cover as much ground as quickly as he can, and he's a super versatile defender, which is why the Nets usually put him on the other team's best player regardless of position. Another big part of the Nets defense is Royce ONeill. When Sean Marks acquired ONeill by sending a first-round pick to the Utah Jazz, this was a savvy pickup that went under the radar. But the Nets front office knew why they made this deal, because Royce ONeill was a good veteran that was going to help level up their defense. ONeill plays really hard on the less glamorous end, and overall he's another gritty perimeter defender for the Nets that could defend multiple positions. The Nets look really good, and it's scary to think just how much better they could get once Seth Curry and Joe Harris start to shoot the 3 ball closer to their career averages. The Nets have a top 10 offense and defense, a legit superstar in Kevin Durant, and a really good co-star in Kyrie Irving. And these guys are the ingredients of a legit championship contender. But anyway, guys, now that's going to be it from me. I want to hear from you guys. Do you view the Nets as a legit contender? Do you think they're going to get to the finals this year? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more dope content just like it, please drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.